Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today, for the first time in a long time, I've decided to film a reading vlog. It is the week of Halloween and I wanted to read some spooky books and I decided to bring you guys along with me for that because I haven't filmed a vlog in such a long time and I thought it would be fun to show you guys what I got up to in the run up to Halloween and Halloween itself, of course. I do have 3 books that I plan on reading for this vlog. You will have probably seen what those are in the thumbnail. The only one I have on me physically is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. This is Holly Jackson's latest book, but it is her first adult thriller, and you guys know that Holly Jackson is an auto-buy author for me. I've loved every single one of her books so far and I'm hoping that that is the case for this one. I'm also currently in the middle of Human Rights by Juno Dawson, which is the 3rd and final book in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series. I am actually listening to the audiobook for that one. I can't quite tell you where I'm up to. I think I'm about halfway through that one or just over, but I will go into more detail on that book when I actually talk to you guys about it because I want to do that later on in the video without this intro being too long, because we all know that I love to ramble in my updates and so I want to keep this short and sweet for now. And then hopefully the 3rd and final book for this vlog will be A Halloween Murder by Mary Grand. Honestly, I have no clue what this book is about, but it's a Halloween thriller, I believe, or a mystery thriller at least, and it was free for me to download on Kindle Unlimited, so that is essentially why this book is on the TBR. I do think it is going to be a fun one to read though, because of course I am going to be reading it in the run-up to Halloween, or maybe on Halloween itself, I'm not too sure. But yeah, very excited for all of these 3 books. I have one book from an author who I've read from before and know that I love. I have Human Rights, that is the last book in a series that I have really enjoyed so far as well, and then I have a new book from Kindle Unlimited which is set on Halloween, and I just think it's going to be the perfect atmospheric book for me to read for this vlog. Now I do think I am going to start Not Quite Dead Yet tonight by Holly Jackson, so I will read you the synopsis of this one because I do know it's about our main character Jet, and one night, I believe on the night of Halloween actually, she is attacked and she is told by the doctors that she has a week to live, and so in that week she plans on solving her own murder and catching her killer, which honestly is such an interesting premise. But I will read you the synopsis. It says, in 7 days Jet Mason will be dead. Jet is 27 years old. Having never left Woodstock, Vermont, she's still waiting for her life to begin. I'll do it later, she always says. She has time. Until, on the night of Halloween, Jet is violently attacked by an unseen intruder. She suffers a catastrophic brain injury. The doctor is certain that within a week she'll be killed by a severe aneurysm. Jet never thought of herself as having enemies, but now she looks at everyone in a new light. Her family, her ex-best friend turned sister-in-law, her former boyfriend. She has just 7 days, and as her condition deteriorates, she is only her childhood friend Billy for help. But nevertheless, she's absolutely determined to finally finish something. Jet is going to solve her own murder. So I wasn't too far off there in terms of the synopsis. I wanted to read this as soon as it came out, but to be honest, I just haven't had the time. I can't wait to dive into this one. I'm not sure what I'm going to think of it, especially because it's an adult book and it's Holly Jackson's first one, of course. I am so used to her YA writing style that I'm not sure if it's going to be quite jarring for me to get into this one. Hopefully that isn't the case though, but yeah, very excited to start off with this. This is also, I believe, the Waterstones exclusive edition, which has blood spatter on there. And I was going to say that I do plan on starting the vlog off with this one. Technically, I have started Human Rights, but as I said, I'm going to chat about that in more detail fully when I actually talk to you about it, because at this point in time, I haven't listened to it for a few days. I do want to dedicate time to it, and so I feel like I'll be in the best place to do that once I've actually listened to some more of it. So for now, I think I'm going to start this one. Very excited for it, as I've mentioned. I will hopefully continue on with Human Rights as well, and the next time I check in will be to update you on my progress with one of those 2 books at least. Guys, this book is so good so far. I'd like to say that I've spent the majority of today reading, but that would be a lie. Saying that though, I have spent the last few hours reading and I've currently made it up to page 154. So as you can see, I've definitely made a dent, and to be completely honest with you, I could carry on reading this all night. Holly Jackson just has such a brilliant writing style that just draws you in, and as I said, I really haven't been wanting to put this book down, which is rare for me these days. I've been in such a weird slump these last few weeks, and so to start a book and instantly fall into it and get so immersed in the mystery, it's just an amazing feeling, and I'm so happy that at least so far I'm enjoying it. I don't know what's going to happen throughout the rest of this book. My opinions might change, but the first 150 50 pages have been so gripping. We know what's going on, we know what happened, and I'm obviously not going to spoil anything for you guys, which is going to be difficult because I really would love to talk about this book. But we do have our main character Jet, and we see at the beginning of this book that she's 27. She doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life. She keeps bouncing around from different jobs, and she also has some different ideas that she would like to pursue. However, she does give up pretty quickly when it comes to those ideas and actually bringing them to life, and we get the sense that she's a bit of a disappointment to her family at the beginning of this novel. Her dad is the owner of a very big construction company, and so her family is well off. Her mother is definitely entitled. She doesn't seem as though she is the nicest person, and her brother Luke is pretty much the same. We also have a really weird dynamic in here where Jet's best friend, who she met at uni, I believe, or spent years with at uni, has actually fallen in love with her brother and they have a child together. And ever since that happened, Sophia, who is the friend, kind of pushed Jet to the side. And so there's definitely a bit of awkwardness there, a bit of tension, and their baby Cameron seems to be the only thing that's actually tying everyone together. And so, as I said, this is the kind of strange dynamic that this family has. Now, at the beginning of this novel, her family has set up some sort of fundraising event at a Halloween party, and we can see that people aren't really receptive to this because they are the ones that are creating the problem. So, like I mentioned, the family owns a construction company, and I believe that they're raising money for some sort of economic charity. And of course, it's just a bit ironic because they are tearing trees down, they are disturbing plots in order to create houses, and here they are asking for donations to support the environment. It's just a bit strange, isn't it? But that is what they're doing, and Jet has kind of been roped in to help, though she doesn't really do a lot of helping, to be honest. This is definitely an interesting setup though, because we do see a few people that come up to her and interact with her throughout the night, and of course this is important later on because this is the night that Jet is attacked. Now, of course, this isn't a spoiler, it's in the synopsis, so I won't go into spoiler territory, but when she leaves the event, she does make her way home, and unfortunately, she is attacked. What absolutely broke my heart when I was reading this scene is that they have a family dog, and don't worry, nothing happens to the dog. I don't think I could have read this book if anything happened to the dog. But when Jet is attacked, the dog starts screaming, and oh my goodness, that just broke me. And the reason that Jet is actually found is because someone heard the dog screaming, specifically Billy, her friend. And he obviously knows the family, knows the dog, thought this was a bit weird, went up to the house and realised what had happened. And he is the one to raise the alarm, call the police, and obviously get an ambulance there. Now, Jet, of course, doesn't remember anything after the attack. All she remembers is being hit twice and hearing her skull cave in, which is disgusting. And then she is now woken up in the hospital room. She is obviously glad to be alive. However, the doctor then tells her devastating news, which is that a piece of her skull has splintered off and is basically really close to an artery. And if she has an aneurysm, which she is sure to do in the upcoming days, it will be fatal. And so they do try and convince her to have surgery, but there's only a 10% chance that she'll live. And in her head, she's thinking, I would rather live my life these next few days than die on an operating table. And so that is what she does. She refuses the surgery, much to her mother's dismay. And after talking to the police, she is determined that she is going to be the one to solve her own murder, because like I just said, in a few days she will have an aneurysm and it will kill her. It's going to be fatal, and there's nothing that anyone can really do except for the surgery, of course. But now that she's refused, she has to come to terms with the fact that she is going to die, and before that happens to her, she wants to do something useful with her life for once, and that is to catch her killer. So it is very meta in a way, because she's aware of what's going on, she's aware of what will happen, and she keeps calling herself the victim, and she keeps referring to the attack as a murder. Obviously she hasn't died yet, but it's inevitable, and so in her mind a murder has taken place. And so she at the minute is trying to, I guess, work with the police, but also best the police as well, because she's trying to work out who killed her, and by doing this she's obviously trying to gather clues, she's speaking to a lot of different people, and she's not necessarily letting the police know everything that she's finding out. Now at the point where I'm up to, she has spoken to a few different characters. We are definitely in the dark at the minute. There isn't really a clear suspect. I have my ideas about a few different people, but of course that could change at any minute. I don't really have any solid evidence to go by, it's just a few little things that struck me as strange. So at this point in time I don't have any real theories or suspects, but I do have a few names in the back of my head that I am looking at. But after talking to one of the suspects, Jet actually finds a crucial piece of evidence, and that is where I'm up to now. She didn't inform the police, but someone else did call them because they were doing something that is pretty illegal. But she did have this feeling that she knew what she was going to find and where she was going to find it, and so she listened to her gut, she took matters into her own hands, and she has now found this evidence. So that is where we're up to currently. I don't know if anything is going to come from this evidence. I'm guessing not because of where it was found and the way it was found, but obviously I don't know that either. So at the minute I'm desperate to carry on with this, I'm not gonna lie, but I do think I should take a break for now. I need to take Kiwi for a walk as well. It is getting late and it's already very dark, which is not the best, and then I do think that I might go to bed early and watch a film. There are so many good films to watch around Halloween time, and the one that I am drawn to today is one of my favourites, which is Coraline. I don't know why, but I've just been thinking about it all throughout the day and I desperately want to watch it, so I think that is what I'm gonna do. In my head, Coraline is one of the scariest films ever because I watched it when I was very young when it first came out and it terrified me. Obviously throughout the years I have grown to love it and I do watch it very often, and I feel like now's a good time because it's not technically a Halloween film, is it? It's more of an atmospheric, dark and spooky film, and I do have some more Halloween specific films that I would like to watch throughout the next few days, which are things like Halloween Town and Twitches. So I think that watching Coraline tonight will be a good shout, and it will just give me a bit of time to relax as well before going to sleep. I'm not sure if I'm going to read some more of this book tonight. We'll see how long it takes me to actually get settled and get into bed and watch the film, but these darker days are definitely making me feel a lot more tired earlier on in the day, so I may just crash after the film and go to sleep. We'll see. But I do intend on reading some more of this as soon as I wake up in the morning, to be honest, so I might show you guys that. But yeah, very happy to say that I'm absolutely loving this one so far. I can't wait to carry on with it, and I have to remind myself that I need to film updates because otherwise I'm just gonna fly through it and reach the end without having chatted to you about it. So I think my goal is to update you every 100 pages or so moving forward. I feel like the first 150 pages were definitely set up. Of course we have now gotten into the investigative element of it, which I love, but that first kind of 60 to 100 pages was definitely slower, and it was building up to, of course, the main mystery, which we have now established. So I do think the pacing of this novel is going to increase, and 100-page sections should work. I may even update you more, I'm not too sure, but that is the plan. And then I just want to let you know that I haven't been listening to any more of Human Rights. I had planned to, but honestly I just haven't had a chance today. I do want to find some time to sit down and do some colouring throughout the next few days though, and that will be the perfect time to pop in my headphones and put on an audiobook. So I will be getting to it soon, but as of now I don't have any real updates for you there. So for now I am going to take Kiri for a walk, I'm going to change into my pyjamas, probably take off my makeup and get into bed and watch Coraline, and I will chat to you guys at some point tomorrow, probably once I've read some more of this book. I do have some updates for you, though I will say I'm not feeling the best today, and so I don't want to be on camera talking too much because one, I don't like the way I look, and two, as I said, I'm just not feeling 100%. But I owe you an update. As you saw, I did watch Coraline. It was such a good film, as always. And then I have been reading more of my physical book. I also made some soup, as you will have seen. And as I was making my soup and also pottering around the house a bit, I did manage to listen to my audiobook of Human Rights. Now, I don't think I've actually told you what Human Rights is about yet, and I can't tell you too much about that book specifically because it is the third book in a trilogy. So it is the concluding book. There is a companion novella that goes along with this series as well, which focuses on Anne Boleyn, but this is the third and final book in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series. And I don't know how best to describe this book without spoiling it because I am 3 books in now, or 4 if you count the novella. Oh my goodness, my voice is going. And a lot of things have happened. So in terms of the synopsis of the first book, I don't want to say too much in case I spoil anything, but we do follow a group of witches who are in a coven known as Her Majesty's Royal Coven. A few years ago, there was a big war between witches and Leviathan and the devil, I suppose. Luckily, the witches won, however, they are still reeling from what went on over those last few years. And as I said, we're mainly following a group of women. We have Helena, who is the High Priestess of HMRC. We have Leonie, who set up her own separate coven. We have Elle, who is trying to live a normal life, I guess, or a non-magical life. And then we have Neve, who is a vet. Unfortunately, they are about to face a lot more challenges and a lot more dark times because there is a prophecy stating that a sullied child will bring back the devil, and Helena believes she knows who this child is. And then I have just consulted Goodreads to make sure that I am giving you the right information, and it does just say here, Juno Dawson explores gender and the corrupting nature of power in a delightful and provocative story of magic and matriarchy, friendship and feminism, dealing with all the aspects of contemporary womanhood, as well as being phenomenally powerful witches. Neve, Helena, Leonie, and Elle may have grown apart, but they will always be bound by the sisterhood of the coven. Yeah, so that pretty much sums it up a lot better than I could have, but things are about to get darker, as I said. We have these 4 characters who do have different beliefs, and especially concerning the child that is involved. And we see how that, of course, impacts the relationship that they have with each other, and I guess their moral beliefs as well. So I do only have 2 hours left of this audiobook now. I have stopped at a place where I am happy with at the minute because I feel like if I would have carried on any more, then we would be in the thick of it well and truly. I feel like I need some time to just prep for what is about to happen, and I want to be in a mindset where I can focus fully on the story and give it my full attention because, of course, I'm 4 books in now. This is the conclusion. I want to know how it ends. I'm hoping it's going to be a satisfying ending. I have really enjoyed this book up until now. I will say there are a few convenient plot points. And again, this is really frustrating, but I can't go into it too much. But we have certain characters who are there, and in some ways it doesn't make sense for them to be there, is all I'm gonna say. But I do like it. I like the dynamic. The plot is interesting. It's spanned over the last few books, but I am kind of dreading the ending. I don't know how it's gonna wrap up. I feel like it can't wrap up all that nicely because of the themes that we are dealing with. So I'm a little bit wary, but I am very excited to finish out another series, which I haven't done in a while, and hopefully it is one that I do rate highly. I have really enjoyed all these books so far, and at this point in time, the third one is no different. And then I have also made it quite a way through this book. I am now up to page 267, and guys, things are heating up. And I mean that literally. If you've read the book, you'll know which part I'm on by that reference, hopefully at least. But yeah, this is wild. I feel like there are so many things going on and there are so many people that are dodgy in this community that it honestly blows my mind. Jet is seeming to find out more than the police at this point as well, which I don't know how she's quite managing to do that. But she is determined. She has Billy along with her as well. And I will say, I love their relationship. I love the fact that they have been friends for years. I love the fact that they know each other really well. And I also love the fact that he just goes along with Jet no matter what, because he really wants to help her. He's the one that found her when she was attacked. He's the one that found the ambulance. And I feel like he thinks he has some sort of responsibility now to make sure that Jet has this final wish, which is to catch her killer. Now, I will say they're not going about it in the best of ways. They are putting themselves into danger. They are doing some illegal things as well, which is of course not the best. But as I said, having those two as our main characters is a really fun dynamic, especially in such a heavy novel. So that is working really well for me. The suspect pool is pretty much the same. I feel like we have one or two extra suspects at this point in time. But like I mentioned, there are so many people here that could be involved because they are involved in so many dodgy things on the side anyway, that it is hard to narrow down who could be responsible for this and also the motive behind it as well. So I'm excited to see what happens, where we go from here, and how it all plays out, because I'm getting to the end of the book now. I feel like I am just going to sit down and fly through the rest of this book, hopefully tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if Holly Jackson can execute the ending of a thriller well. I mean, again, I've read from her before, I know that she can, but my issue with adult thrillers and murder mysteries is that I always feel like the ending is rushed and it's not fleshed out enough. So we'll see what happens with this one. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully I'm not disappointed by it. And there's a little part of me as well that is pretty morbid, but I'm hoping that it doesn't all wrap up very nicely for the characters that are involved, because they're not nice people and I'd like to see some repercussions for their actions. But yeah, for now I am just carrying on with this. I feel like the next time I update you will be when I finish this book, because hopefully I will have more thoughts by then. So I'm just going to focus on finishing off this book now, seeing how it wraps up, and I will check back in once I do that and let you know my final thoughts on this one. Good morning everyone. I did just want to pop in here quickly because we are heading off to Cheshire Oaks today, which is hopefully going to be very exciting. I don't know what the day's going to look like. We don't really have a set plan. It's currently about 10:30 in the morning and we're planning on starting off around 11, maybe even a bit earlier. It's going to take us an hour to get there. We are obviously going to go around the shops, we're going to have something to eat, and I do also want to go and see my mum. For those of you who don't know, my mum does live in Chester and it is about an hour's drive away from me, as I just said. So we're going to make the most of driving up there. We're going to see her, and I'm also hopefully going to see my stepsister and give her her housewarming present, because she has recently bought her first house, which is so exciting. And I'm just hoping it's going to be a really lovely day. Now I will say I'm not feeling the best. I am coming down with a cold and I'm really feeling it this morning. I obviously don't sound too bad and I have put makeup on, but inwardly I am suffering. So I'm not sure how much of my face I'll be showing throughout today, but there is a reason behind it in case I kind of go quiet for a bit. In terms of reading, I don't have any more updates. I didn't read any more last night and I haven't read anything this morning either. So I don't have any reading updates as of now. If Tom's driving today, then I will be continuing with Not Quite Dead Yet. But if I'm driving, I of course can't do that. So we'll see. Either way, I'm really excited for today. I do plan on reading and hopefully finishing, if I can, my physical read today. I do just want to apologise as well for the flickering lights. I don't know what's going on. The lighting in here is awful today, but I did want to film this little clip before heading off to Cheshire Oaks, just to break up the vlog a little bit. And I'm probably going to include a lot of B-roll, as I said, because I don't really want to be filming my face. So that is the plan. Hopefully you guys don't mind, and hopefully you enjoy coming along with us today and spending some time with us whilst we do some shopping. guys, quite a few hours have passed now since we left to go to Cheshire Oaks. We did get there as you saw, however we did think that we were actually going to have to come back to the house straight away because we got a notification from our hub that told us that our fire alarms were going off at home. Now they have been a bit strange all week, they've been going off randomly and it's been pretty annoying, and we got in contact with the electrician that set them up for us this morning just to double check. And yeah, by the time we landed in Cheshire Oaks, I got that notification, and obviously we're an hour away. It's not easy for us to just pop back home and turn them off. So we were having a bit of a panic. My brother is actually in Manchester. My cousin was in meetings all day, and so I did manage to get a hold of one of our neighbours, luckily, and we actually have a key in a key safe outside. So I gave them the code. I asked them, can you please go in and turn it off in the fuse box and then obviously pop it back on for us, and they did. So that saved us a journey back home. But I will say we were a bit anxious throughout the rest of the day that they were going to go off again. But yeah, by now someone has actually come in and fixed it for us. There was something loose and it was setting all three of our alarms off, which you can imagine was not fun. Luckily as well, we did take Kiwi, our dog, with us because we were scared that the fire alarms were going to go off. And if you guys know Kiwi, you know that she is an anxious ball. She's scared of her own shadow, and when the alarms have been going off, she's been getting really agitated. She's been hiding behind the sofa and you can see that it's affecting her. And so I'm just so glad that we decided to take her with us today so that she wasn't home alone when all of this was going on, because she genuinely would have made herself ill, if not worse. So yeah, very thankful that we had the foresight to actually take her with us. To be honest, I don't feel like it was a very successful trip. We did go into a lot of shops and there was a 20% off deal, but in a lot of the shops you had to spend a certain amount to actually get that deal, and there wasn't a lot of stuff that we really wanted. So I went to a designer outlets and all I bought were 2 candles and 2 hot chocolates, which yeah, just sums me up as a person really, doesn't it? I will start off with my candles though. So as you can see, I did buy 2. I'll show you what they are in a sec, but I did also get myself an air freshener from Yankee Candle. I do think I filmed a bit of that shop and I love that shop in general anyway, but leading up to Christmas time is my absolute favourite because there is one scent that I am in love with. I can honestly not have enough of these candles, and they obviously have them discounted. So that is the main reason that I wanted to go in there. But I did also pick up an air freshener, which is vanilla cupcake. This is what it looks like. Nothing special really, but I saw it there and I thought I'd treat myself to a nicer air freshener. Then the first candle that I decided to get was this one, and it's called Christmas Cookie. It smells so lovely. It's obviously a very sweet one. I wish there was such a thing as smell-o-vision because this is lovely. I feel like I've had miniature versions of this, but I've never had the big jar. So again, whilst it was there, whilst it was discounted, I did decide to pick it up because I do love my candles. I burn them quite regularly, and so yeah, I know that this will probably be gone by Christmas, to be honest, but I did want to have a nice candle that is a little bit different to my staple that I have almost all year round. That leads me on to my all-time favourite candle, which is this one. It is called Christmas Eve. We have a lovely picture of Santa Claus there on his sleigh, and yeah, as I said, it's my all-time favourite candle scent. I honestly couldn't tell you why. It's just so lovely, and I knew from the minute that I first smelt it years ago that it was going to be a new favourite, and it remains a favourite to this day. I do think I already have a spare one of these, so I have one that's currently burning alongside my Halloween candles. I have one in the cupboard and now I have a spare one as well, and to be honest, I will probably buy another one before the end of the year because these disappear for a bit after then, of course. Boots normally have a pretty good Yankee Candle sale and this is in it, but that tends to happen just after Christmas, so I'll keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I did want to get that there whilst I saw it, and I will say actually they have new jars that are being released and I picked it up to buy that one. However, I noticed that they were significantly smaller. This one is 623 grams and I believe the new one was somewhere around the 500 gram mark. So you are losing quite a bit. Now I don't know if that's because of the thickness of the glass or what, I didn't ask, but I just went for these 2 because I thought I was getting more for my money, and even saying that, they were very heavily discounted as well. So those are what I got from Yankee Candle. I will be putting this in my car probably tomorrow and I can't wait to go into it and smell it. And to be honest, I could have bought more. There were so many lovely wax melt sets that had ceramic jars that were gingerbread themed or Santa Claus themed or elf themed, and definitely had to drag me away from those. There were also some wax melts, in particular Christmas Eve wax melts, that I was was very tempted by, because if I'm not burning a candle, I have a wax melt going, and the smell of this is just pure happiness to me. So I was debating getting a few of them, but I didn't. I did have to restrain myself a little bit because carrying these two around was very tough, and if I would have bought more from there, it just wouldn't have been as manageable. So I did hold off. Then one of my all-time favourite shops to go into in Cheshire Oaks is Whittard's. Now, I have spoken about these before, but they are essentially a tea shop, but they do obviously specialise in other things as well. And when you go into this shop, it's like pure heaven because there are so many free samples. Even before we actually walked into the shop, they had a stall outside that were giving out free samples of their toffee hot chocolate. So of course I had to have some of that. We had a few different teas inside. I tried all of those. We had an orange hot chocolate, which I tried and was lovely. And then the last one I tried, and I think the one that I filmed, was the apple strudel one. And again, absolutely lovely. But I didn't want to go overboard. I didn't want to buy too many things here because it does take a while for me to get through the products. Now, I've never really bought tea from there before, but I do love their hot chocolates because I actually have a milk frother that makes hot milk as well as frothing it. But if I just put milk in there and I have it on the hot milk setting, I then put a couple of spoonfuls of my hot chocolate of choice in with it, and it blends it so beautifully. So that is how I make a good hot chocolate, and I would definitely recommend. But because of that, I decided that I was going to get these two. This was £11, I believe, for a set of two, which does sound pricey when you think about it, but this is a luxurious brand, and it is one that I've tried and tested and I know that I love. Now, I can't say that I've particularly tasted these flavours specifically before. I feel like I have, but I really like their hot chocolate, so if that's anything to go by, I'm sure to love these. This is very reflective, so you can see the camera, but the flavours that I've gone for are salted caramel and then just a plain hot chocolate. And I do have to tell you guys a little bit of a secret. The reason I've gone for a plain hot chocolate is because I really love putting Baileys in my hot chocolate, and so I don't want a flavoured hot chocolate if I'm putting Baileys in there. So that is why I've gone for that. Obviously, Christmas time is around the corner, and I feel like a hot chocolate with Baileys in is just gonna hit the spot, and I absolutely love it. It's like a little treat for me sometimes. So I did decide to go for the salted caramel and also the plain hot chocolate. I don't know if they come in tins or sachets or what. I am just gonna open it actually and see. Normally they have really big pots, but you have to buy two of them in a deal and you can't buy them separately. So when I see little things like this, I do tend to pick them up because they do last quite a while for me. I don't know if they will now though, because we are into the colder wintry months and I do love a hot chocolate, so we'll see. But okay, no, it's not. It's in a little bag, which looks like this. Now this looks a lot less than I thought we were gonna have, to be honest. We only actually have about that much, which is pretty disappointing when you look at it like that, I'm not gonna lie. But I'll give it a go, see what it's like, and if I prefer something else, then next time when I go, I'll make sure to avoid these small boxes. But yeah, hopefully they make a good hot chocolate. And to be honest, I just felt so guilty because I was taking all the free samples that I thought I should buy something. So I'm very happy that I bought these. And if you're ever passing a Whittard's, I would highly recommend going in because you can try everything essentially. If they aren't out and you want to try a specific flavour, they will also make it up for you in the back. So top tip there. These are lovely. I can't wait to actually give them a go. And saying that, I'm probably going to have one tonight because I'm freezing right now and one of these would hit the spot. In terms of my reading, I have actually read a bit more. I read in the car because Tom was the driver. I couldn't read anything on the way back because it was honestly pitch black outside, and I'm not one of those people that will put the car light on. So I did just talk to Tom really. We listened to music and it was just very nice. But on the way there, I did make it up to page 333. And I will say things are definitely heating up now. A lot of things are happening. Information is being revealed about so many different characters, and it just seems as though every single person that's mentioned has a motive. And it's just blowing my mind because I don't really have a particular suspect. I'm still sticking with one, and I feel like that would be a very big plot twist if it was that person. But obviously I can't say anything about it or my reasoning behind it in case it turns out to be that person. So I really don't know where this is gonna go. I mean, Holly Jackson never fails to amaze me, and I'm hoping that I am going to love the ending of this book as much as I'm hoping I will. I keep wanting to flick forward, but I don't want to spoil myself, so I really have to restrain myself from doing that. But I do think I'm gonna sit down tonight now and give this a read through, and honestly, I have been flying through it. It's such an easy book to pick up and just fall into and immerse yourself in fully, and so I do think I may be able to finish this tonight, you know? Saying that though, I do want to watch another scary film, and by scary I just mean a Halloween film. I am going to go for more of a spoopy film rather than a spooky one, because we watched A Quiet Place yesterday and that was scary, and I don't like scary things all that much. So it's going to be a spoopy film, which is like a nice Halloweeny film. I'm not sure what I want to watch yet though, because there are a few favourites that I like to watch on Halloween. So we'll see what happens there. But do I read? Do I watch a film? I'm not too sure. Either way, I will be reading at least some of this. I will say though, I'm pretty close to the end now. So we have how many pages? This is a really dangerous game because I don't want to spoil myself. Okay, the acknowledgements start on page 427. So I've got about 100 pages left, or just under, and I feel like it's doable, to be honest with you. I don't have to make tea or anything tonight because we had a Five Guys earlier on, which was lovely, might I add, but we hadn't actually eaten anything up until that point, and now I just feel like extremely full because you saw the burger, you saw the fries, and we did also get a cheeky little milkshake, which was divine. So I don't have to make tea or anything tonight, so I do think I could just sit down and fly through this. I'm actually really scared too though, because I just don't know what's going to happen. The last, I'd say, 60 pages of a thriller are the most important as well, and the most fast paced because everything is being revealed. So I do feel like I'm just going to be gripped and I'm not going to want to put this book down. So we'll see. I'm aware that this has been a very long, very rambly update, so apologies for that, but I really hope you've enjoyed coming along to Cheshire Oaks with me today. I was planning on filming a lot more, but it was so busy there that I barely took out my camera. I think I took it out once. I got very strange looks and I got very embarrassed and overwhelmed, and so I just filmed on my phone from that point onwards. So sorry if the quality's not as great or if it's a bit shaky. I honestly don't know what the footage looks like, but it was so busy there that I was getting a bit overwhelmed as well, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, basically. But I hope you enjoyed coming along and seeing what was in the shops at least. I'm not sure if tomorrow's going to be a chilled one or not, because I do have a lot of filming that I need to get done, and I'm debating doing that tomorrow or Friday. To be honest, I think it might have to be Friday, but that's Halloween. I'm not too sure. But I have a gym class booked tomorrow night, and my hair is in desperate need of a wash, so I don't know if I want to film with this hair, you know, because it's getting greasy now and I don't love it. So we'll see. It might either be a complete chill day or it will be a filming day. I haven't quite decided yet. I feel like I'm just going to wake up and see how I feel. So either way, if I don't finish this tonight, it's definitely going to be read tomorrow morning. So that is the plan. I'm going to stop talking here and I will chat to you tomorrow after I have finished this book. Happy Halloween, everyone! It is now Halloween. I didn't update you at all yesterday. Honestly, I've just been feeling really under the weather. I still do today, but I've pulled myself together. I've had a shower. I have put some makeup on in the hopes that that will make me feel a little bit more alive. And so far it does seem to be working. So I am popping in now to let you know that I have in fact finished Not Quite Dead Yet. And guys, this was such a good book. The pacing was fantastic. I think I've said multiple times throughout this video that I haven't been wanting to put this book down. I feel like this is one that you could read in one sitting without any problem because it just draws you in. Our characters are very dynamic. We have a range of different characters actually, maybe too many at some points, but I understand why they are there because you obviously need to widen the pool of suspects, otherwise it can get a bit boring, I suppose, and you could figure out who the perpetrator is pretty quickly. So I do understand that, but I feel like every character was significant in one way or another, and some of them made me so angry. To me though, that is just a sign of a really well written book, because if you can make me feel something for the characters, then you've won, you know? So I'm really happy that I finished it, that I did enjoy it. The tension by the end was insane. I will say I'm really glad that this ended in the way that it did. Now I'm of course not going to go into spoilers, and I do have an issue with the epilogue, I guess, afterwards, but there was a point where I thought that this was going to have quite a happy ending, and you can say that it does to an extent, but not in the way that you would expect. And like I said, I'm glad of that. I really have to be vague and I'm sorry about that, but I really did feel for our main character because she's obviously trying to solve her own murder and she wants to do that before she dies, and so the ending is a little bit bittersweet. We do find out who the perpetrator is. Now I will say I was wrong. I wasn't too far out in terms of the character and their relationships to people, but in terms of who actually committed the murder and their reasoning behind it as well, completely blindsided me, which again is such a good thing because I feel like thrillers can be quite predictable sometimes, and so to have invested that much time and gone through this journey with our characters, I do feel like it was a curveball, and it did surprise me, which I appreciate in a thriller. As I said though, the epilogue wasn't my favourite. This is where I feel like everything was a little bit rushed. I understand why it was done that way, but I do think we could have had a few more chapters just to see the fallout afterwards, because some of our characters have done some awful things and it's just kind of brushed under the rug, so I would have liked to see some repercussions for their actions. But of course that would have made the book a whole lot longer, so I do get why that was left out, but I do think I would have liked to see some sort of consequences for these people's actions, and we didn't quite get that. I do think I'm going to give this one 4 stars, not quite the 5 because of the ending, and also because even though this is an adult book, I do feel like it reads more YA at some points, which is obviously what Holly Jackson has been writing throughout these past few years. This is her first adult novel. It definitely deals with some darker themes. We have a lot of swearing in there, which I'm not against, but I feel like an adult novel doesn't just include swear words, and I feel like maybe that's what was irritating me a little bit. So I don't know, something just felt a tiny bit off. But in terms of the book itself, the story, the mystery, I had such a good time with it. This is the perfect one to read during the last week of October or first week of November, because that is the time frame we have in this book. And yeah, like I said, it just worked really well for me. I would highly recommend it. Holly Jackson has done it again, and I feel like the concept of this was so interesting and also very well done. I still haven't listened to any more of my audiobook, which is awful of me. I will finish it by tonight so I can update you either later on or tomorrow. So sorry about that, but a review is coming. In the meantime though, I have now started what is probably going to be my last book for this vlog, which is a Halloween murder. It is on my Kindle, as you can see, and according to this, I've made it to page 90, which is 24% of the way through. Now, ideally, I would have liked to have made more of a dent in this one by now, but with me having not been feeling well and also with other things going on, I just haven't really prioritized it. And I feel like these first 90 pages have actually been quite difficult to get into. The murder hasn't actually happened yet. I do feel like we're leading up to that now though, so I have been waiting for that to happen so that the pacing does get a little bit faster. And for now, I just feel like the build-up has been quite long. So hopefully once the murder occurs, I can get my detective hat on and I can try and figure out who did it and why. But the setting is really interesting. We are currently in an old castle. A group of friends have decided to rent out the castle for a week-long holiday. And of course, this is over Halloween. So they do go on a ghost tour alongside our main character, who is the mother of one of these characters, and that is essentially where I'm up to at this current point in time. So I don't have too much to say on that one, and I feel like that's probably a good thing because I have rambled on in a few clips throughout this vlog. So this one is going to be a little bit shorter. As I said though, it is now Halloween. I don't have any set plans. I was going to go to a little pumpkin patch at a local farm today with my mum and my nieces. However, the weather is atrocious. It's so windy and rainy, so I don't think we're actually going to go there, which is definitely a shame. But I am going to head to my brother's house in a minute to spend time with my mum and my nieces. I think they need to carve pumpkins, which I will definitely be helping out with. And we are hopefully just going to have a nice day. Maybe we'll put some Halloween films on. Maybe I'll introduce them to a few of my favourites. And I'll of course be bringing you guys along with me for that. So hopefully you guys enjoy spending Halloween with me. I can't wait to go and see everyone, and I feel like it's just going to be a load of fun. I've made it to my brother's house and we've chosen a film to watch, which is a classic. It's Hocus Pocus. It's time for Hocus Pocus. Very excited for this one. They've been busy making Oreo icing biscuits today, and now it's time to carve some pumpkins. Wow guys, what a day. I've just gotten in. I actually ended up going trick-or-treating with my nieces. I may have included a few clips of that. I feel like I've definitely struggled to film throughout the day because I don't want to put my nieces on the internet, and we have been with different family members and things like that as well. So I have filmed as much as I can. Hopefully the footage has been okay. I don't know what I've really filmed as of now, but the night's not over yet. Firstly, I actually have some Halloween inspired snacks. I guess it's a meal. We're gonna have these for tea. These are actually from Aldi. So we've got some barbecue chicken ghost bao buns, which look like this. There you go, I've taken the sleeve off, but look how cool. I don't know if these are nice or not. We're gonna give them a go. I feel like these are definitely gonna be more up my street than the pumpkin ones, because these ones are sweet and sour veg pumpkin bao buns. So they look like this, and again, I'll take off the sleeves so that you can see, but how fun are these? I wanted to get some sort of Halloween snack, and I saw that Aldi had a few things in, and out of everything, I thought these would be the ones that we'd actually eat and enjoy. Like I said, more so the ghosts than the pumpkins, but we're gonna give them a go, see what they're like, and hopefully they end up being really nice. I will say, I am desperate for some food right now. I haven't really eaten a lot today, and I'm also gonna make myself a hot chocolate because I'm so cold. I don't know if you could tell from the clips, but it's been raining and so windy all day, and so being out trick-or-treating was definitely not the most fun, and I'm feeling it now. I'm very cold, so I am going to cook these. I'm going to make myself a hot chocolate, probably change into some fluffy PJs and get cozy for the evening. They don't look any different to how they looked in the packet, but they have been in the microwave. I thought they'd have to go in the oven, but no, it said microwave, and they are boiling, so I can't wait to tuck in and see what they're like. But how cool are these?
Answer the question and I will. There are two main doors to your house, a front door and the patio doors. If you answer correctly, you live.
Guess who caught COVID on Halloween? I did. Because of course I did. Looking back, I'd say it's pretty obvious. However, there are so many different illnesses going around at the minute that I didn't really think that I would be positive for COVID. But the day after Halloween, so the 1st of November, I was so ill. I couldn't keep my head up. I was just feeling so drowsy and dazed and dizzy. All I wanted to do was just lie down and go to sleep, and I just didn't feel like it was a normal cold. So Tom went to Home Bargains, I think it was. He got me some COVID tests because I was thinking about that by this point, because how can you not? I know it's not pushed in our faces all that much anymore, but I still wanted to test myself, and I am really glad that I did, because yep, I tested positive for COVID. Typical, isn't it, guys? But Tom was ill before me, and I think he obviously must have caught it from work. He's a secondary school teacher. I'm also a secondary school teacher, so we are around a lot of kids and other staff constantly. And as I said, he was ill first. I think he has then passed it on to me, and I got the brunt of it very badly, as I usually do, because my immune system is absolutely awful. I have edited the vlog up until this point, and it just makes me laugh because I think the first few clips I'm okay, and then I start mentioning that I'm not feeling well, and then yeah, it just spiraled from there basically. So the day after Halloween, I was so ill, and obviously I'd been around so many family members and different people as well, that I just felt so bad. But I do tend to just push through normal colds anyway. It was just on that next day that I knew it wasn't a normal cold, because I was just really unwell. So I took a week off work, self-certified. I still wasn't the best, so I was given a doctor's note then for the second week, and I'm nearing the end of that second week, and I will say I'm still not feeling the best. I am still getting really bad headaches, I'm not sleeping well at night, and I do get out of breath fairly quickly as well. So all that to say, this video is going up extremely late, and I do apologise. I was considering scrapping it, but I have enjoyed filming it up to this point. It's just such a shame that I can't end it in the way that I want to, and also that it's taken me this long to actually get it out to you guys, because there was no way I was doing anything that first week I was ill. I really was not well at all. And then this second week I have started to feel a bit better, as I said, but I'm still not to the point where I've been wanting to film sit down videos, or I've been wanting to edit too much in one go either, because my head does hurt. So all of that to basically say I'm sorry that it's taken me this long to close out this vlog. I know I haven't really spoken about Halloween Murder at all. I did finish that one. I gave it 2.5 stars. I really didn't get on with it. I didn't really enjoy the reading experience. Looking back, I'm not sure if it's because I was feeling unwell, but to be honest, I just feel like the build-up was really drawn out. I feel like I mentioned I was up to like page 90 and the murder still hadn't happened. It then took a few more pages for it to actually occur, and the way it played out just didn't really make sense to me. A lot of suspects were involved, of course, which was interesting. Each of them seemed to have some sort of motive. We obviously had an outside view from one of our characters' mothers, which I guess was interesting because these characters know each other, have grown up with each other, so it was interesting to see someone who doesn't really know them that well come in and see how they were acting. The reveal was definitely underwhelming. I don't think it made a lot of sense. There were definitely some plot points that were unbelievable to me, and unfortunately, yeah, I just didn't gel with it. So again, that might have been my mood, I don't know. Let's just say if I would have paid for the book, I would have been really disappointed. I obviously got it for free on Kindle Unlimited, so it's not affected me that much. It was a Halloween read, it was fun to read it over Halloween, but other than that, I wouldn't say I recommend it. If that's your sort of thing, then go for it, and if you loved it, I'm so happy for you, but for me personally, I just didn't get on with it, and I'm not sure if I'll pick up anything else by this author. I think she has a lot of books that are set during different times of the year. I believe she does have a Christmas one, so I may look into that. If it's on Kindle Unlimited again, I may give it a go, but a 2.5 star rating for me is really low. I normally tend to give out 3 stars, but yeah, I just felt like I was not connecting to this one at all, and I just wasn't bothered. So that was definitely a bummer. I did finish Human Rights as well, which was the 3rd book in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series by Juno Dawson. I do say the 3rd book because it is a trilogy. There is also a standalone novella following Anne Boleyn, which I have also read, so technically there are 4 books in the series, but this is the core trilogy. I will say, I really enjoyed this series. Every single book so far has been a win for me. It's not necessarily something that I would gravitate towards, but I gave the first one a go, and I think the audiobooks definitely help. I think it's Nicola Coughlan that narrates the audiobooks, and she plays a character in Bridgerton. Forgive me, I don't watch Bridgerton, so I don't know who she is, but she's also in Derry Girls, and again, I haven't watched it, but it's a very popular series, and her narration is fantastic. She draws you in, she makes you feel every single emotion, and I'm not sure if I would have enjoyed the story as much had I not listened to the audiobooks. Now, I will say, by the end, the plot got a little bit unrealistic, and again, we are dealing with witches and warlocks and the devil and magic, so of course it is going to be fantastical and it's not going to make the most sense. It was definitely dramatic, I'll give it that, and whilst there were some casualties and fatalities, it did wrap up pretty nicely, which I don't know what I expected really. I did think it was going to go a certain way, but I feel like it just ended very quickly and very abruptly, and I could have done with a few more chapters just to wrap it up a bit better. Again, that's my personal opinion. I did have a good time with it. It's definitely a standout. I'm really glad that I have finished a series because I've been awful at doing that recently, and it is one that I've had such a good time with for every single book as well. I do think I'm going to give that one 4 stars. I don't think I've given any of the books 5 stars, and I don't know why, but I feel like it's a solid 4 stars. I started it, I kind of put it down for a bit, I went back to it, really enjoyed the story. The ending let it down a little bit for me, especially a plot point with one character, which I'm not going to go into, I'm really sorry, but it may be a spoiler. So that is why I've taken off a star for that one, but don't get me wrong, it's a phenomenal set of books. The audiobooks are fantastic as well, like I said, and I would highly recommend them. Here comes Kiwi to disrupt everything for us now. You okay? It's getting close to bedtime, as you can see from the fact that I'm in my pyjamas, and Kiwi loves nothing more than snuggling up in bed because she is a lazy doggo, aren't you? And she's desperate now to go to bed. Look at her. We will, I promise. Like, you haven't had enough attention and cuddles from me over the last 2 weeks. Anyway, moving on. The last book I, of course, read in this vlog was Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I do feel like this is my favourite book for the vlog. I knew it was going to be a good one because Holly Jackson is one of my favourite authors. The plot was interesting. There were a lot of different characters. Again, a lot of them had motive. A lot of them seemed to be involved in really dodgy things. And there are some characters in here that I would have liked to see face some consequences consequences for their actions throughout this because they were awful and it's just kind of brushed under the rug and I don't know how I feel about that. But again, the ending was pretty satisfying. I thought it was going in one direction and I thought it was going to have a nice and happy ending, and I'm kind of glad that it didn't. I mean, it did, but it didn't. And I can't say more than that because again, spoilers. I do feel like, again, I could have done with 1 or 2 more chapters at the end of this book just to close everything off properly, because it is left a bit open-ended in a way, and I don't like that in my books. I like it to be wrapped up. I like to know what has happened, why it's happened, and also what the consequences are and how people move on from that. And we don't quite get that, which is fine. It's my personal preference, of course, but I just wish we had a few more different chapters, maybe from different perspectives as well, to let us know what actually went on that night that ends the book, and also the repercussions of that as well. I don't think I'm going to give this a full 5-star. I don't know if it's a 4 or a 4.5. I am going to look at a few reviews. I'm not sure if I mentioned in my last clip, but apart from the swearing in this, I wouldn't necessarily consider this an adult book either. I am so used to Holly Jackson's YA books, and this is pretty much exactly the same. There are a few gory descriptions, especially of Jet's attack, but other than that, there's nothing to really make it adult. So I'm not sure about that. I will say her writing is so readable. I start reading her books and I just fly through them and I'm so involved in what's going on. I'm engrossed in the story and the mystery, and there are so many plot twists as well that even when I think I'm correct in my theories, I'm not. So yeah, kudos to her for that. I really enjoyed this one. I would highly recommend it. It's a really fast-paced book to read, and it's one that I feel like you could fly through pretty easily and have a good time with it. I really hope I haven't rambled on for too long. I'm starting to feel myself getting more and more congested as I keep talking, so I am going to bring this to a close in a minute. Again, sorry for the lack of updates towards the end of this vlog, especially with that last book, but there was no way that I was going to put myself on camera, so I do apologise. Hopefully you enjoyed this nonetheless. I had a few different things happen in this vlog, didn't I? We had a trip to Cheshire Oaks, we had Halloween, and as I said, it's my first reading vlog in a while, I think, on my channel, so let me know what you thought of it. Of course, it wouldn't be a vlog from me without something going wrong, but getting COVID during Halloween is definitely a new one, and it would just happen to me, wouldn't it? If you've read any of the books that I've been talking about in this video, please do let me know your spoiler-free thoughts on them down in the comments. I always love chatting to you about the books that I'm reading, and I'd love to hear your opinions on any of these as well. If you have watched this video all the way through and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me any sort of Halloween related emojis. I know that Halloween is long gone by the point that this video is going up. We're closer to Christmas, I think, now than Halloween, but I can't put up a Halloween reading vlog and not ask you for some Halloween related emojis, so please go ahead and give me your best ones down in the comments. I know I say it all the time, but seeing you guys comment the emoji of the video truly does mean the world to me. It blows me away that you guys watch these all the way through. So if you are still here but don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, please go ahead and comment that now. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!